All right, so you're getting ready for an ICT Documentation Manager interview.
Smart move.
This role, it's in high demand.
It is.
Projected growth rate of 7%.
Yeah, you're on the right track.
Definitely on the right track.
Yep.
And we've got your RoleCatcher resources right here, ready to help you ace this thing.
Absolutely.
We're talking interview guides, career overviews, and the secret sauce to not just answering questions,
Right.
but wowing them with insights that show you're not just prepped, you're prepared.
It's about understanding that in today's tech landscape, clear, concise documentation.
Yeah.
It isn't just a nice to have. It can make or break a product, a customer relationship, even a company's reputation.
Right. You're not just applying for a job, you're stepping into a role that can impact the whole organization.
For sure.
So let's dive into these interview questions. Make sure you're ready to showcase the value you bring.
Yeah, let's do it.
First up, can you describe your experience with creating and managing technical documentation?
So with this one, they're looking for more than just a list of documents you've created. They want to see your understanding of the entire life cycle, from planning and development to review and maintenance.
Uh-huh.
Did you tailor your content to different audiences? Did you use visuals effectively? How did you ensure accuracy and consistency?
Yeah.
Think about the process behind your work.
So not just what you've done, but how you did it.
Exactly.
What if they follow up with something like, tell me about a time you faced a challenging documentation project and how you overcame the obstacles?
Oh, that's a good one. That's where you showcase your problem-solving skills.
Okay.
Be specific. Did you have to wrangle input from multiple stakeholders?
Right.
Did you have to learn a new tool quickly?
Yeah.
Focus on the actions you took and the positive outcome you achieved.
And that's where RoleCatcher's AI can be a game changer.
For sure.
It can help you tailor your answers to highlight the skills that are most relevant for this specific role.
Yes.
Plus, you get AI-powered feedback, so it's like having a personal interview coach in your pocket.
Preparation is key.
Yep.
And using tools like RoleCatcher can give you that extra edge.
Okay, next question. How do you ensure that technical documentation is accurate and up to date? They're looking for your commitment to quality here.
Absolutely. Highlight your process for quality control.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a system for peer reviews? Do you gather feedback from end users? And how do you manage version control?
Yep.
Companies are looking for meticulous documentation managers who are passionate about accuracy.
Let's say they ask, can you tell me about a time you had to correct an error in a document that had already been published?
Oh.
Yikes, a bit of a pressure test there.
Honesty is key, but frame it positively.
Okay.
Explain how you identified the error, the steps you took to correct it, and the measures you implemented to prevent it from happening again.
Right.
It shows you're accountable and committed to continuous improvement.
And remember, RoleCatcher can help you practice these scenarios and refine your responses with AI-powered feedback.
It's a great tool.
On to question 3. Can you provide an example of a time when you had to manage multiple documentation projects simultaneously? This feels like the reality of this role, right?
That's the crux of it. ICT Documentation Managers are master jugglers.
Yeah.
They're handling multiple projects with competing deadlines and stakeholders.
Right.
Pick an example that highlights your organizational skills, time management, and grace under pressure.
What if they dig deeper and ask, what if the deadlines for 2 major projects suddenly overlap? How do you navigate that?
This tests your flexibility and strategic thinking.
Okay.
Explain your process for reassessing priorities, communicating clearly with stakeholders, and potentially renegotiating deadlines. It's about showcasing your adaptability and solution-oriented approach.
Got it. So it's not just about meeting deadlines. It's about managing expectations and finding solutions.
Exactly.
Moving on to question 4. How do you ensure that technical documentation is accessible to a wide range of users? This gets to the heart of communication, right?
Precisely. They want to know you understand your audience. You can write clearly and concisely, avoid jargon, and use visuals to break down complex concepts.
Yeah.
Consider mentioning different types of documentation you've created. User manuals, quick start guides online, help all tailored to different needs.
So it's about making sure everyone, regardless of their technical background, can understand and use the information.
Absolutely.
Now, what if the interviewer adds, our company is expanding internationally? How would you approach creating documentation for users who speak different languages?
That's a great opportunity to highlight your understanding of localization.
Okay.
It's not just about translation, it's about adapting content to different cultures, considering everything from date formats to units of measurement. You could even mention your experience with translation services and style guides.
This shows you're thinking globally and strategically.
Exactly.
Before we move on, I want to touch on something from the RoleCatcher Career Guide, the importance of building a strong portfolio.
A portfolio is a must-have. Think of it as your show reel. Include diverse samples, user manuals, API documentation, maybe even training materials.
Yeah.
It demonstrates your skills and your ability to cater to different audiences and purposes.
Okay, back to the questions. Question 5. Can you describe your experience with content management systems? This seems pretty straightforward, but I'm guessing they're looking for something specific.
They want to see your comfort level with the tools of the trade.
Okay.
Mention the systems you've used: Madcap Flare, Adobe RoboHelp, even simpler ones like WordPress.
Uh-huh.
If you know the system they use, highlight your proficiency. If not, emphasize your ability to learn new systems quickly.
Makes sense. What if they follow up with, we're currently using specific content management system. Have you had any experience with customizing templates or workflows in that system?
This is your chance to shine if you have that experience.
Yeah.
Talk about how you've streamlined processes, improved efficiency, or enhanced user experience through customization.
Okay.
If you haven't used that specific system, focus on your general approach to customization and your eagerness to learn.
All right, question 6. Can you provide an example of a time when you had to work with cross-functional teams to create technical documentation? This is all about collaboration, right?
Absolutely. ICT Documentation Managers are team players.
Yeah.
They work with engineers, product managers, marketing teams, and more.
Right.
Choose an example that highlights your communication skills, your ability to gather information from diverse sources, and your finesse in managing feedback from multiple stakeholders.
What if they then ask, describe a situation where you faced a disagreement with a team member about the content or direction of a document? How did you resolve the conflict?
This is a test of your conflict resolution skills.
Okay.
Did you listen actively? Did you seek to understand their perspective? Did you compromise?
Right.
The key is to demonstrate your ability to find solutions that satisfy everyone involved.
Okay, this is great stuff. We're making excellent progress, but we'll have to pause here for now.
Okay.
When we return, we'll tackle the remaining questions and delve into some valuable career insights to help you shine even brighter in that interview. Stay tuned.
Sounds good.
Welcome back. We're diving deep into those ICT Documentation Manager interview questions, arming you with the knowledge and insights to make a lasting impression. Let's pick up where we left off.
Let's do it.
Okay, question number 7. Can you describe your experience with creating multimedia content, such as videos and animations? It seems like documentation is evolving beyond just the written word.
Absolutely. It's about understanding the power of visuals and interactive elements to engage your audience.
Yeah.
Think instructional videos, screencasts, interactive tutorials, or even incorporating animations and graphics into your documentation.
So they're looking for someone who can leverage a variety of media to make information clear and engaging.
Exactly.
What if they follow up with something like, our company is seeing a growing demand for video content. Tell me about your process for creating a short explainer video for a new product feature.
That's a fantastic question, and it allows you to walk them through your process.
Okay.
Talk about scripting, storyboarding, filming, editing, highlight your understanding of each stage. Mention any software you're comfortable with and your ability to collaborate effectively with designers or other team members.
It's a chance to showcase not just your technical skills, but your creativity and communication skills as well.
For sure.
All right, on to our final question. Can you provide an example of a time when you had to manage a team of technical writers? Now we're stepping into leadership territory.
Precisely. This is about showcasing your leadership style, your ability to delegate effectively, provide constructive feedback, and cultivate a positive, collaborative work environment.
So what kind of example should you choose? What are they really looking for here?
Choose a situation where you successfully led a team to achieve a specific goal or overcame a challenging project.
Okay.
Talk about your approach to communication, how you motivated your team, and how you handled any conflicts that arose.
What if they dig a little deeper and ask, what if you had a team member who was consistently missing deadlines or producing subpar work? How would you handle that? This feels like a tricky situation.
It is, and it's a test of your ability to address performance issues constructively.
Well, talk about your approach to feedback, setting clear expectations, and providing the necessary support and resources to help the team member improve. It's about demonstrating your commitment to both the individual's growth and the team's success. And if necessary, you can also touch on your willingness to take disciplinary action when appropriate.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground with those questions, but before we move on, I want to highlight something from the RoleCatcher Career Guide that I think is really helpful. The 3 stages of an ICT Documentation Manager career: entry-level, junior, and senior. Let's break those down for our listeners.
Understanding these stages can give you a clearer picture of the career trajectory and how responsibilities evolve over time.
Exactly. So at the entry level, we have the ICT documentation specialist. They're typically assisting with the creation and maintenance of documentation, collaborating with other teams, and really getting familiar with the tools and processes. Then, as they gain experience, they may move into a junior ICT documentation manager role. At this level, they're starting to manage smaller projects, supervise junior staff, and contribute to developing documentation standards and procedures.
And finally, we have the Senior ICT Documentation Manager. They're responsible for the overall strategy and direction of the documentation department, managing resources budgets, and ensuring that all documentation meets the highest standards of quality and compliance.
They're also often mentoring and developing their team members, staying ahead of industry trends, and advocating for the importance of documentation within the organization.
So a clear path for growth with increasing responsibilities and leadership opportunities. RoleCatcher can be a great resource to guide you through each stage of your journey.
Absolutely. Understanding where you fit in this landscape and what skills you need to develop at each stage can help you set realistic goals and map out your career progression.
Now let's shift gears for a moment and talk about some additional things you can do to make your application stand out from the crowd. Let's discuss certifications, building a portfolio, and the power of networking. Ready to dive in?
Always. Let's explore these strategies.
Okay, first up, certifications. Are they really that important in this field?
They can be a valuable asset. They demonstrate your commitment to professional development and your mastery of specific skills. In this field, certifications like the CPTC, that's the Certified Professional Technical Communicator, or even a PMP, the Project Management Professional certification, can really set you apart.
So it's not just about having the knowledge, it's about having the credentials to back it up.
Exactly. It shows you've gone the extra mile to gain recognition for your skills and expertise, and that can make a big difference in the eyes of potential employers.
What about building a portfolio? What are some key things to keep in mind?
Think of it as your showcase, your opportunity to highlight your best work and demonstrate your versatility. Include a variety of samples like user manuals, API documentation release notes, even process documentation. Anything that shows your range and your ability to adapt to different audiences and purposes.
And don't forget about multimedia, videos, tutorials, interactive demos. Those can really bring your portfolio to life and show you're comfortable working with different formats.
Absolutely. It's a great way to demonstrate your skills in a visually engaging way and showcase your comfort with the latest technologies and trends in technical communication.
Okay, last but certainly not least, let's talk about networking. I know it can feel a bit daunting for some people, but it's an essential part of career growth, especially in a field as specialized as technical communication.
I couldn't agree more. Networking is about building relationships, learning from others, and staying informed about industry trends and opportunities. It's not just about finding a job, it's about becoming part of a community.
So where do you even begin? What are some practical steps you can take to start networking effectively?
Attending industry conferences is a great way to connect with other professionals and learn about new developments. Joining professional organizations like the Society for Technical Communication or the International Association of Business Communicators can provide valuable resources and networking opportunities.
And don't underestimate the power of online networking. LinkedIn is an incredibly valuable platform for connecting with professionals in your field, sharing your expertise, and staying up to date on industry trends.
Exactly. Engaging in online discussions, sharing articles, and participating in groups related to technical communication can help you build your professional network and establish yourself as a thought leader.
So what does this all mean? You're not just prepped for questions. You're equipped to showcase your value as an ICT documentation manager.
You understand the role, you're prepared to answer those tough questions, and you're actively taking steps to stand out from the crowd.
One final thought to ponder. How will you leverage technology both in your work and in your job search to stay ahead of the curve in this constantly evolving field?
It's a question worth considering because in a world driven by technology, continuous learning and adaptation are essential for success.
Good luck, and remember, a deep dive into knowledge is never wasted. Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We were just talking about certifications, building a killer portfolio, and that sometimes dreaded networking.
Yeah, it can seem daunting, but it's so important.
It is. So let's dig a little deeper into those, shall we? First up, Certifications. It's easy to say they're important, but how do they actually translate into benefits for you in the job market?
Think of certifications as a stamp of approval, a way to validate your skills and knowledge in a way that's recognized across the industry.
Right.
For ICT Documentation Managers, the CPTC Certified Professional Technical Communicator, that's a big one.
Yeah.
It demonstrates your proficiency in key areas like information architecture, usability testing, content strategy.
So it's not just about saying you can do something. It's about having proof that you've met a certain standard.
Exactly, and there are other relevant certifications to consider too. The PMP Project Management Professional, that's valuable if you're going to be leading teams and managing complex documentation projects.
Makes sense.
It shows you have the skills to plan, execute, and deliver successful projects.
Now let's talk portfolios. You mentioned that it's like a highlight reel of your best work.
It is.
But with so many different types of documentation, how do you choose what to include? What will really grab a hiring manager's attention?
Focus on quality over quantity.
Okay.
Select pieces that showcase your versatility and your ability to tailor your writing to different audiences and purposes.
So give me an example.
Sure. For example, include a user manual that demonstrates your ability to explain complex technical concepts clearly and concisely. Then maybe add some API documentation that shows you can handle highly technical content.
So variety is key. What about those multimedia projects we talked about?
Yeah.
Are those worth including in a portfolio too?
Absolutely. Multimedia is becoming increasingly important in technical communication. If you've created instructional videos, interactive tutorials, or even animated explainer videos, those are fantastic additions to your portfolio.
They show you're not just comfortable with the traditional forms of documentation, you're embracing new technologies and pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
Exactly. It shows you're innovative and willing to experiment with different media to create engaging and effective content.
Okay, last but certainly not least, let's talk networking. I know it can feel a bit intimidating, but it's such a crucial part of career growth, especially in a field as specialized as technical communication. Any tips for making networking feel a little less daunting and a little more, dare I say, enjoyable?
The key is to approach it as an opportunity to learn and connect with people who share your passion for technical communication.
Okay.
Start by attending industry conferences.
Okay.
They're a great way to hear from experts, see what's new in the field, and meet other professionals.
I've heard that conferences can be a bit overwhelming, though.
Yeah.
Any advice for navigating those successfully and making the most of the experience?
Do your research beforehand and identify the sessions and speakers that are most relevant to your interests. Don't be afraid to strike up conversations with other attendees.
Yeah.
Remember, everyone is there to learn and connect. And be sure to bring plenty of business cards.
Great tips. What about professional organizations? Are those worth joining?
Absolutely. Organizations like the Society for Technical Communication, STC, or the International Association of Business Communicators, IABC, offer a wealth of resources, including networking events, online forums, and professional development opportunities.
So it's a chance to connect with people both locally and globally who share your interests and can offer support and guidance throughout your career. I love that. Now, before we wrap up, I want to circle back to something we mentioned earlier, RoleCatcher's AI-powered tools. I know they can be incredibly helpful in tailoring your answers for specific job roles, but can you tell us a little more about how that works and why it's so beneficial?
RoleCatcher's AI analyzes job descriptions and identifies the key skills and experience that employers are looking for. It then provides you with tailored suggestions and feedback on your interview answers, ensuring that you're highlighting the most relevant information and presenting yourself in the best possible light.
It's like having a personalized interview coach who knows exactly what those hiring managers are looking for. That's amazing.
It's an incredibly powerful tool that can give you a significant advantage in the competitive job market.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground today, from those crucial interview questions to the importance of certifications and networking. I feel like we've given our listeners a comprehensive roadmap to success in that ICT Documentation Manager interview.
And remember, preparation is key.
It is.
The more you understand the role of the company and the industry, the more confident and compelling you'll be in that interview.
That's right. You've got this.
Yeah.
And remember, a deep dive into knowledge is never wasted. Good luck, and thanks for joining us on the Deep Dive.